and welcome to the Ile Notre Dame once again for what promises to be another incredible Canadian Grand Prix at this fiercely competitive circuit, where pole position can often be decided by less than a tenth of a second. If you want flat-out racing, you've come to the right place this weekend, as it's full throttle for 59% of this 2.7-mile circuit, peaking at around 210 miles per hour going into the final chicane. But that speed requires discipline, and there are more than a few close walls here just waiting to punish drivers with a heavy right foot. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position, and a very happy Carlos Sainz will start second. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Russell, Hamilton, Lando Norris, and Perez, Fernando Alonso, Ricciardo, Ocon, and Kevin Magnussen, Gasly, Surfer Boy, Guan Yu Zhou, and Bottas, Verstappen, Vettel, Yuki Tsunoda, and Lance Stroll, Richard Verschoor, Mick Schumacher, Latifi, and Alex Albon picks up the last spot on the grid. With preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track. And with me today, of course, is Natalie Pinkham. We should talk about Williams. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
Well, the atmosphere within the team seems very positive at the moment. Everyone seems like they're in great spirits and having a lot of fun doing what they do. And that has definitely contributed to the performances we've seen.
Okay, now that we've got some good points on the board, let's continue this form and aim for another top 10 finish.
Welcome to Driving Immersion for the immersive racing experience. Up ahead, a full race with full simulation from the cockpit. No anti-lock brakes, no traction control, no driving line, fully manual pit stops, and simulation wear and damage. We drive with Fanatec Formula V2 wheel and pedals. We also use Track IR5 for driving from the cockpit. Let us know what you think of the race and comment below. Give us a like and consider subscribing. It helps us reach other race fans. You can catch us on Facebook and YouTube. So our strategy for the race is for a two-stop with one soft tire and two medium tires, and that'll be at lap 13 and lap 40. And here we are reducing our fuel load down to 99, I believe it's 0.6 kilograms, as indicated by our practice program. Here we are. And that will pretty much guarantee that we're going to have enough fuel to finish the race. So off to our formation lap. The circuit Gilles-Villeneuve is 4.3 kilometers, and we're going to be racing for 70 laps clockwise. Here we are past the start-finish line as we approach turn 1 to the left here, followed by a very slow turn 2, and we may bring that down to first or second gear. As we accelerate out, we're going to be struggling for traction. Down to turn 3 to the right, turn 4 to the left, turn 5. We approach turn 6 and turn 7 here for a very slow chicane, and we're going to bring that down to second or third gear. And we are going to wait to hit the throttle as we are going to be struggling for traction out. Now into our first DRS zone. And we're going to brake just under the bridge here for turn 8 and turn 9, another chicane. And we're going to be riding those curves as fast as we can. Accelerate hard again, down to the hairpin. And we will be at full brake power by the 100 meter mark, as we try to place the car in the right spot here to be able to accelerate out as soon as we can for the very long straight here at the circuit Gilles-Villeneuve. Into our second DRS zone. Down to the chicane of turn 13 and 14 here to the left, past the Wall of Champions. Now we approach our place on the grid. Have been successful only a couple of times so far this season.
That's not an ideal placement in your grid slot. You're going to need a good launch.
Overshot
when the race
that.
starts.
Still not have gotten used to placing the car at the right spot. So here we go. Watch for the lights. When the red lights go out, it's a go. So it's very hard to see. We are in the middle of the pack. Again, we lose traction and we lose a couple of places. There we are, right next to our teammate. He's able to come around our left. And right now he's just a little bit ahead of us. But we are going to stick our nose into 3 and 4. And now we are ahead. A lot of heavy braking here through 6 and 7. And we are able to get a couple of cars by. Approaching the hairpin. Another couple of cars. I believe we got Sebastian Vettel and one of the McLarens. Riding here with one of the McLarens, watching the 66. This is Daniel Ricciardo in the McLaren. And we approach turn 13 and 14. You can see here that Vettel was able to squeeze right through. Riding now with Sebastian Vettel. Back with the 66, that is Max Verstappen just ahead of us. I didn't really know why he started this far back in the race. I believe he may have had a engine change or a mechanical change that penalized him to sit further back in the grid. But right now we will be racing with him. We take a dive at the hairpin. Able to get through. No damage, he's still fighting. He's got very good traction and he will have a faster car down the straight.
So Verstappen's fast.
We will have the inside to turn 13. So for now we're just staying ahead of Max Verstappen. So a very good start for the 66. He did pass a few cars. There we are. We have the AlphaTauri just ahead of us. On board with the 66, looking back at Max Verstappen. We will have a faster car, and we're just waiting for him to make his move to get by. Now ahead, that is Pierre Gasly in the AlphaTauri. We take him on the inside at the hairpin, and that's going to be happening a lot through the race. That is one of the best passing spots. There he is, just under our wing. He's able to stay with us. He does have a faster car down the straight, so he may have less swing. We do again have the inside to 13, and we block him out through 14. So we'll stay ahead of him for now, and looks like Max Verstappen is getting around him at this point. Nope, overshot it. So Max Verstappen outbraked himself. And a quick look at the standings there on the upper right of the screen.
So late on the
You can see that Gasly and Vettel are back ahead of him. So lap 4, we have DRS available to us now, and we have Kevin Magnussen just ahead of us. And just ahead of him, Esteban Ocon. Looking back from the Haas. Looks like the 66 tried to dive underneath. Just not enough time, not enough room. And you can see here that the Haas has pretty good speed. He does have DRS. Very close to turn at 13 and 14. Way over the curb there for the 66. Turn 1, turn 2. DRS through sector 2. And right now we're able to stay with Kevin Magnussen and Esteban Ocon just ahead. Lap 5 we are in P11, now P10 as we dive underneath Magnussen in the Haas.
Great maneuver, you made it look so easy.
And we made a stick. Still have the DRS from behind Magnussen before we got to the hairpin. So now ahead, the Alpine of Esteban Ocon. The very quick chicane of 8 and 9. A little out of sorts, but we are going to take a dive under Esteban Ocon. And we are not going to make it stick. He's able to get back around us as we had outbraked ourselves. So we are a little bit faster than Esteban Ocon. The trick is to figure out where and then make the pass at that point. He does have the Alfa Romeo of Guan Yu Zhou just ahead of him, and it looks like it's slowing him down just a little bit. So right now the 66 has the fastest lap of the race. Pretty early on, I don't think it will stick. Looking back from the Alfa Romeo of Guan Yu Zhou, and that is Esteban Ocon just behind him with the 66 diving again through the hairpin. And it's a drag race.
Yep.
Looks like Ocon is behind. He does try to make a comeback. He is faster on the straights. Side by side. So he regains his position in 13 and 14. Past the start-finish line.
The car ahead starting to create a gap. They're just starting to pull away from us
Esteban
now.
Ocon got his spot back. So he is faster in the straight line. Back on board with the Alfa Romeo, looking back at Esteban Ocon and the 66 Racing. Big dive here through 3 and 4. And Esteban Ocon tries to make it back. Down to the hairpin, the 66 is ahead of Ocon now. Lap 9, now ahead the Alfa Romeo of Guan Yu Zhou. Jump over the curve with 3 and 4. Turn 5. A dive into 6 and 7. And 66 makes it stick as we accelerate out. Hard brake into 8 and 9. So now it looks like Esteban Ocon is racing with the Alfa Romeo. Side by side out of the hairpin. Still side by side down Main Straight. And it looks like Guan Yu Zhou is not going to go up too easy. So lap 10 of 70. We are due for a pit stop on lap 13. Here is our tire situation. 28%, 24% in the rear, and 19 and 21% worn in the front. Now these are the soft tires, the red tires, so they're not going to last too long. Probably 13 or 15 laps is a good run for them. And it looks like we ran over the curb there, exiting out of turn 9. Again, they are at the end of their life cycle on the car. So we will start to experience less grip until we can change out of them.
Tires have lost a lot of grip.
Very hard braking to the hairpin. You can see there that we locked up our tires and it allowed the Alfa Romeo to get back to our wing. Down to turn one, a little kicking up to the dirt, and there's going to be a lot of that as the curbs here are pretty forgiving. And again, this is what I would consider my home track. It's a 10-hour drive from home to get to the Circuit Gilles-Villeneuve. And I have actually walked this track at least a several number of times. In the many times that we've been going there. The tarmac is always in top racing shape.
Gap to the car ahead is 7.4 seconds.
So it continues to be a very, very good track. And this is usually where we sit, somewhere in the hairpin. So end of lap 12 as we come through 13 and 14. The wall of champions there on the right. We didn't actually come very close this year to hitting that wall. So there's the wear. It's 36 and 31% in the rear. But at the end of this lap, lap 13, we are going to be changing out. Now, if you ever attend the race here at the Circuit Gilles-Villeneuve, you'll have to find out that you have to buy your tickets way ahead of time. Even general admission gets sold out, and this was as early as
Okay, be careful. We think you're going to start losing some tyre grip
2006, so it's a very well attended race and has been part of the Formula One calendar since 1978. Here we are coming to change out of our soft tires. Very big lock up there as we bring the car down to speed. And looking further back, you can see that Max Verstappen has already come in along with us, and you can see the AlphaTauri as well. Couldn't tell which AlphaTauri that was. Here we are, very slow pit stop. Again, we had overshot our pit turn in. You can see that we are actually behind Max Verstappen and the AlphaTauri. So we did lose a couple of spots on that stop. Very quick flip through 8 and 9. And it's a view above the hairpin. Very big grandstands, always packed with people. And even the standing areas around the fence where you are able to stand, they're always full of people as well. Again, if you ever plan to attend this race, the best thing to do is park downtown and take the L.
Who is that?
Which is the subway, and it goes under the river. It will bring you right to the gate. So there we are, past Yuki Tsunoda. I believe he still has to come in for a stop.
No one being in the midfield.
It's always interesting at the end of the race to have a look at what the other teams did for pit strategies when they came in and changed out of their tires and so on. And we'll have a race summary at the end of the race. Have a look at that.
Yep.
So yes, Yuki Tsunoda behind us has soft tires. He should be faster. And you can see there that he is very racy through turn 1 and 2. Down to the hairpin. And again, you'll see us running a little bit wide through the hairpin as we have less wing. But just enough so that we can keep it closed and nobody else can get by. Again, the hairpin here is a very good place to pass. And if you look up, you can see that the clouds are starting to clear. Sun is shining, shadows are on the track. So the weather forecast did ask for a dry race. Still racing with Yuki Tsunoda in the AlphaTauri behind us. He does have soft tires and we have the medium tires. So he should be faster, but again, this is one of those tracks where the corners are relatively slow and we are working with long straights, so top speed is a must. Looking on from the T-cam of Yuki Tsunoda at the 66, lap 18 of 70, we are racing. Making our way down to the hairpin. Let's see if he's going to make an attempt to outbrake us. Nope, not enough. And you can see there that we are a little bit wide on the exit. But it's not enough to open the door. Again, we accelerate out. He should have DRS. You can see in the rear view mirror there that he does have his rear wing open. Down through 13 and 14. Past the start finish line. Here we go into turn 1. Very slow around turn 2. And again, you have to wait to accelerate out. The corner cutting of 3 and 4, turn 5 here to the right. Again, the chicane of 6 and 7. Waiting again to accelerate out into the first DRS zone. You can see that 66 has a very good speed over the AlphaTauri. Down through the hairpin again. The laps go fast here. So on the chicane of 13 and 14, the left turn through 14 actually has a very high sausage curve.
So your teammate behind is 26.8 seconds.
In the practice sessions, I did once in a while damage my under tray on the curve of 13, which goes to the right. And it's not very high, but you'll definitely damage the car if you hit the curb.
Our gap to the car in front is 2.6
on
seconds.
14. And driving over that curb on turn 14, there's no way to make it over the curb. So that is Pierre Gasly just ahead of us, and that is the other AlphaTauri. 2.7 seconds ahead. And we still have the AlphaTauri of Yuki Tsunoda.
Perez has just posted the fastest lap of the race.
There we are, we just lost our fastest lap. So we still have the AlphaTauri of Yuki Tsunoda behind us, just about a second behind, so he's still capable of using his DRS. But right now we are trying to run very good clean laps, as that is the only way to gain time. And we need to catch up to the other AlphaTauri of Pierre Gasly. There is Yuki Tsunoda. You saw that his rear wing was open. We don't have DRS available to us. We are not close enough to Pierre Gasly, his teammate, just ahead of us.
And Magnussen stopping now.
The start of lap 22 through turn 2. So we are gaining a little bit on Pierre Gasly here in the AlphaTauri, looking back at the 66 through 8 and 9. Coming in through the hairpin here, we can see that we make up a little space. He is able to accelerate out, but we're able to stay with him. Past the wall of champions. Through the start-finish line. Turn 1, we're a little bit wide. Drove straight through turn number 9. Lap 23 of 70. Now the front tires are starting to wear. Right back with him through 1 and 2. 3 to the right, 4 to the left. So we do have the speed to race with Pierre Gasly. We just have to find a right spot to get by. Coming up to the hairpin, best place to pass on track. Nope, not close enough. Very close now to Pierre Gasly. Coming under the bridge through 8 and 9. Still a good distance. But what we're doing here is we're actually trying to save fuel. If you look at the fuel meter on the upper right of the steering wheel, it is at negative 0.09 and 0.08 at times. So what we're doing is we are trying to stay with Pierre Gasly, hoping that it will save us fuel, being able to use the DRS 3 times around the track. Again, very close, but it's not an aggressive attempt to pass. So negative 0.04. We are able to save fuel at this point. I believe we may just need to do this for about 2 or 3 more laps. Down to the hairpin again, and we make an attempt to get by. He will keep us placed as we had to brake ourselves.
That was ugly.
So again, we are back behind Pierre Gasly. Using our DRS, another attempt to get by through turn 1. We are on the inside of turn 2. And this time we make it stick. So we're still at a fuel deficit, but there's still a lot of race left that we may have an opportunity to save fuel. Or as I say, make fuel. So lap 27 now, we are back in 8th place. Big slip up there coming out of turn 9. So down the main straight, you can see that we are making room on Pierre Gasly. There is the Alpine right behind him. And there, I think you just got a quick look. There is a car with a yellow nose, and that would be a Red Bull. A couple of cars behind. And if that is Max Verstappen, that would be an indication that he did pit. So the timing shows that Gasly is behind us, along with Ocon right behind him. We don't get to see the third car back. Can't quite see him in the rearview mirror either. We get a good exit and start using our ERS. There we are. That's definitely a Red Bull right back there. Another squirmy start out of the last chicane. And you can see here that Pierre Gasly is right back to us. He did give us a little bit of a nudge, no damage indicated. And he did run us off the track, but we came back and we are still ahead of him. So again, our setting for the damage is simulation setting, so it should be very easy to break parts in the car. And if you get a long outside shot of the 66, you can see that the right front end plate is kind of chewed up. No, it's the left end plate. So down the main straight, we're able to keep all of them back. I believe that is a Red Bull coming up onto us now. And we are racing with him. We didn't get the blue flag, so that should be Max Verstappen. As he quickly gets around the AlphaTauri. Quickly approaching under our wing. Very close now. You should have a very good shot here of getting by through the airpin. Let's see what he does. Nope. Not enough room, and we actually did cut close on that turn in there. So there was no space for him to get by or try to underbrake us. Again, past the start-finish line, he is very close.
understeer through there.
Doing everything here to keep Max Verstappen back. Let's see if he makes another attempt. Nope. There's that big curb on the turn 14. So riding with Max Verstappen, you can see that he's very aggressive on the track. Early turn-ins and early acceleration. Over the curb. Not close enough here again this time. So he should have DRS available, and you can see that his rear wing is open. He does get far ahead of us, and we are going to swoop in, underbrake him, and cut him off on turn 14. And that makes him slow down quite a lot. You can see here that the AlphaTauri gets by again. Still fighting out of turn 2, 2 cars wide. So Max Verstappen gets his place back from the AlphaTauri. Too wide through the hairpin, and we able to dive back in and cut him off. So his little attempt there did slow both of us down, and you can see the AlphaTauri is right in, racing with us. Again, diving through 13 and 14 with no fear. Leaves the other 2 cars back. Oh, there's Esteban Ocon also getting into the mix. Now ahead of Pierre Gasly. Now Ocon has a very fast car. So watching them 2 race from Max Verstappen, you can see that Ocon did accelerate out faster than Pierre Gasly, and Gasly is swept back. Down in the hairpin, 2 cars wide, the Red Bull and the AlphaTauri. So Max Verstappen takes the wider line. You can see he's able to accelerate out. And those 2 racing against each other is giving us the time to create some space. Max Verstappen is now a couple of seconds behind.
Sipping fuel.
And that was the call from the car. We are now in a fuel surplus situation. And actually, as the race builds on, we'll actually have more fuel to finish the race. Right now, it's a positive 0.8. No, positive
Here's some information on
0.11.
Tsunoda for you. They've got some kind of mechanical problem.
0.09.
He's behind me.
Okay,
So as long as
gap
those
ahead
numbers
is
are green-
28.7 seconds.
As long as those numbers are green, we will have enough fuel to finish the race. And if you remember a few laps ago, we were trailing behind Pierre Gasly and AlphaTauri, letting him pull us through the straights with our DRS. And it was creating a situation where we could save fuel. So lap 35, we have Esteban Ocon just behind us. Looking at the timing, you can see Fernando Alonso is way ahead. It's possible that he will still make a pit stop at this point, in which case he will still have enough time to stay ahead by just a few seconds. So lap 36 of 70, we are expected to pit in lap 40. We are 29 seconds behind Fernando Alonso, the car ahead of us, so we have a very clear track. And right behind us, we are racing with Esteban Ocon in the other Alpine. And you can see with a long shot there that Max Verstappen has gotten by and left Pierre Gasly and AlphaTauri. So he is now racing with Esteban Ocon. We expect him to come back up in just a couple of laps.
To the car in front is 29.0 seconds.
Again, clear track ahead of us. Esteban Ocon not close enough to use his DRS. And looking at the sky above, it looks like it's going to be a clear weather finish for the race.
Three more laps on his tires.
So this year in F122, the chicane of 13 and 14 and the Wall of Champions just didn't seem as difficult as they were in 20 and 21. And we have no problem driving through there. The only difficulty with that section is the left-hand curb in turn 14. Again, it is very high. If you do hit that, it will totally dismantle the underbody of the car.
Back marker, leave.
Esteban Ocon back under our wing out of a poor start out of 14. So it's very important to get traction down coming out of these slow corners onto these longer straights. Getting by and lapping one of the McLarens. There we are, drove through the apex of turn 9. These tires have certainly lost their grip, and at this point we are waiting for lap 40 to come in and change out. So one more lap on these tires. So looking at our fuel situation,
Now we're boxing this lap.
you can see that we are plus 0.16. We can accelerate and drive as hard as we can. Looking back, we now have Max Verstappen back under our wing as he made his way around Esteban Ocon. So there's no doubt at this point he does have a fast car. Here we are coming in to change out of our tires for the last time of this race, lap 40. And we are expecting to put on our second set of yellows, our medium tires. And we will be driving those for 30 laps. There we are, a uneventful pit stop. Looking at the time, you can see that Gasly, Vettel have gotten around us while we are changing tires, and 12 seconds behind we have Mick Schumacher and Alex Albon. Yes, the yellow tires usually take a lap to about a lap and a half to come into full grip, as they will need getting heated up.
Is 6.1 seconds.
A little wide on turn 1. Getting it back corrected out of turn 2. A little wide there as well in turn 6. Again, these tires are not fully warmed up just yet, so we're overdriving them a little bit. And I remember in F1 2021, if you did overdrive the tires, trying to get them heated up, they will actually overheat and not last as long. We don't seem to experience that too often or too much here in F1 22. And I think that whole transition with temperature started in F1 2020, where it was more noticeable, and it carried on into F1 2021, where it was definitely noticeable. So having gotten around the other McLaren, we're back to a clear track ahead of us. Vettel is a handful of seconds ahead. So as soon as these tires warm up, we're able to drive as fast as we can again. And this is lap 43 of 70, so we got to make sure that we save these tires just a little bit to finish the race. 30 laps is still under the tire's ability or longevity. But we don't want to be driving with them too far into the decline.
Okay, gap ahead is 6.4 seconds.
So lap 44. Another heavy acceleration that we just caught. So lap 44, we are now 4 laps past our pit stop. You can see that we are back in 15th place, but that is going to be our last stop for the race. So looking at the timing, there's at least 6 cars here that you can look at and expect that they will still come in and change out. So stick with us till the end. We will review the pit stop strategies and the lap times at which the other teams have pitted, as that is a very important part of the strategy here, as much as the amount of fuel that you're going to load on before you start the race. Speaking of which, we have not actually seen the safety car the last couple of races. And we have actually been fortunate. The weather has actually been pretty good. We haven't had any rain since Imola.
Our gap to the car in front is 3.0 seconds.
And at the start of the race today, it was actually pretty cloudy. And certainly looked threatening, but the forecast did not call for any rain, even though it was cloudy. And you can see now that it has cleared up. Unless there's a major accident here, we may not see the safety car again at all. As you can see here, that we have the fastest time, or fastest lap again, in lap 45, or 44.
Gap to your teammate behind
Overdrive
is
turn 1.
48.2 seconds.
A little bit into the gravel, but at least we didn't lose the car. So there is a green car ahead of us, so that would be Sebastian Vettel, who is just a little over 2 seconds ahead. We are making time on the cars ahead. But again, we do expect that they will still pit. Drive through turn 9 again. That chicane just happens very quickly with very high speed, so if you don't flick the car left and right or right and left fast enough, you will not have enough grip to make the second turn. Nevertheless, no penalties. Riding from the T-cam of Sebastian Vettel. You can see here that we are looking at the 66, just slowly crawling back. Turn 8, turn 9. Vettel through the hairpin. Straight and 13 and 14 past the Wall of Champions. You can see just that little dot in the background. That is the 66. Made a little time here through turn 1 and 2. Back on board with the 66. We are now less than 2 seconds behind Sebastian Vettel, the next car ahead of us in the race. And if you look at the timing, you can see that Gasly is just ahead of him. Another car that we've been racing with for most of the race. Oh, that's a big slam into the barrier there under the bridge.
Richards coming in for his stop.
So you can certainly hear it, but again, there is no indication for damage. There we are. We're doing everything we can just to get back up, and you can see that we had used up our ERS all the way down to 0.
Caution, caution. Some information on Magnussen for you. They're retiring from the race.
So if you had a quick look, there was a car parked on the left there against the wall, very near to the start-finish line. And we got a yellow flag and caution warning. So Magnussen is out of the race. Didn't exactly see what happened to his car, but it, being that he's in the straight, it could likely have been a mechanical failure. Watching the 66 once again from Sebastian Vettel's T-cam. Very good dive through the hairpin, but he's still able to accelerate out sooner than we are. So if you had a look there, there's still a lot of room between the car and the Wall of Champions. We dive into turn 1, get in front of Vettel, and we're going to make it stick through turn 2. So that straight past the start-finish line is actually a DRS zone, and we were able to use that, and that's how we got around Sebastian Vettel. Back to the race. We are now racing again with Pierre Gasly. He was giving us a very good challenge earlier in the race, along with Sebastian Vettel and Esteban Ocon. After our pit, we're back to racing with him. Doing very well to avoid that left-hand curb. And again, if you look at the steering wheel on the upper right, you can see that we are now on a surplus of 0.34 laps of fuel. 0.3736. Watching Sebastian Vettel here to see if he can respond to our pass, and it looks like we're making a little bit of room on him. And now would be his chance to get under our wing before we get to the hairpin. He should still be close enough to use his DRS. Now we are closer and closer to Pierre Gasly. Another poor exit out of turn 14. You can see here that Vettel did accelerate us out faster, or accelerate out faster than we did. Trying to capture a loss of traction. And when that happens, you're going to have to back off the throttle. So he was definitely faster than us, but we were able to make it stick through 1 and 2. And he lost momentum braking for us. So you can see now that there's a lot of space. Lap 52 of 70. We still have the fastest lap of the race. Very cautiously through the hairpin. The best way to make time here in Formula One is to drive very safe and precise laps without taking risks, jumping curbs, and certainly having to back off because you've accelerated too soon or too hard. And in the end, it certainly makes for a more relaxing way to drive. Three and 4. Turn 5. Turn 6 and 7. Through the DRS zone, we are not close enough to the car ahead of us. Back on board now to close off lap 53 of 70.
And gap to the car in front is 1.7 seconds.
At this point, we are P10 and we are in a points finishing position. However, that's only one. If we are able to get past Pierre Gasly here in 9th place, we will get 2 points. So coming to close lap 54, looking back at the race, it's actually been a pretty good race. We have not made too many mistakes. We still continue to lose traction out of the start. And it may be due to the fact that we have a on-off clutch instead of an adjustable clutch on the steering wheel. And hopefully soon we can remedy that. The only other problem that we have is the pit box entry, and you're kind of required to turn into your pit box at a very specific time, and if you don't make that specific time, you are penalized with just a little bit of a longer pit stop. Instead of 2 or 2.7 or even 3 seconds, you'll end up with a minimum of 3.3. Not really a lot of time, but again, it is adding to your time throughout the race. And if you really screw up, you'll have a situation where they have a hard time putting on a tire or replacing a wing and so on. So lap 55, we are closer than ever back to Pierre Gasly.
Okay, you're catching the car ahead, but remember, we need to get to the end of the race on these tyres.
Back to his wing out of 1 and 2. So what we saw there was a deep dive between 6 and 7, and we did dive a little bit too deep and ran off track. However, we were able to stay on and ahead of Pierre Gasly here again, driving through turn 9. Very difficult there to flick the car right and left, as it happens very quickly, and sometimes the safest thing to do is just to drive through. Certainly can't ride over the curb on turn 9, and it will actually damage your underbody. Not as much as 14, but it will create damage. Now obviously if you damage your underbody through the race, it cannot be repaired or replaced, so you'll be driving around for the rest of the race once that's occurred with a damaged underbody, losing a lot of downforce and grip in return.
Okay, gap ahead is 13.0 seconds.
And again, we have a pretty good handle on this track, as we've been here for at least 5 or 6 races in Formula One. And the circuit Gilles-Villeneuve has not changed much. I think they've done very well to, again, keep the tarmac in very, very good F1 racing shape. There are no patches in the asphalt, so it's a very smooth track. Not a lot of areas where you require a lot of runoff, and I think those things will add to its longevity. Again, it's been part of Formula One since 1978. Every time we go there, the race is sold out. So the Canadians do love their Formula One. But it's also a very good landing point for a lot of people coming from Europe and France, notably, because they do speak French here. So looking back from the 66 at Pierre Gasly, we are now in 9th place. A decent points finishing place. But just like before, we're not able to drop Pierre Gasly, and he is racing with us at this point. Very clean through 13 and 14. Back on board with the 66. It's now lap 59. We still have the fastest lap of the race. Wondering if anybody's going to be able to go faster. It's possible that somebody could still come in and change out of their worn tires, put on new soft tires, and definitely go faster. Looking on from the nose cam of Pierre Gasly's car in the AlphaTauri. Now, our pit strategy had required 2 stops with 1 red tire and 2 yellow tires. It's possible that we are going to be seeing some cars making a 3-stop race out of this race. I'm not quite sure that you could make a 1-stop out of this race, but again, we'll see that at the end of the summary. There are a few cars ahead of us, and obviously they've taken advantage of one of those 2 options for strategy. Very gingerly through the hairpin, a little wiggle there from the 66 coming out. Well, from this vantage point, those clouds do look a little bit threatening. But I think with 10 laps left to go, it's not going to affect this race too much. The sun is still peeking through and we do see shadows, so for now we are safe. So now Gasly is able to stay with us throughout the lap. He did have a little bit of a wiggle coming out of turn 9 there. Back in the picture for the hairpin. And it looks like there are several cars behind him. notably a green Aston Martin, and that would be Sebastian Vettel, as the timing indicates. Oh, bad trip there through 13 and 14. We did hit the curb on 13, and I think we may have hit the curb in 14, but again, no damage incurred on the car. And usually when damage occurs, there is a pop-up on the lower right hand of the screen.
Fast lap again.
So there we go, we have lost our fast lap. It seems Charles Leclerc in the Ferrari, who is very fast for this race, has taken the fastest lap. And I think if we were able to keep that, that is 1 point for the race. And it's actually very possible that if we are not in a points-paying position, that we could pull into the pits, change into a set of soft red tires, come back out,
clear, green flag,
and go fast and get the fastest lap. And that's one way to get 1 point. Oh, so we just got a call that Esteban Ocon is out of the race. Did not get to look at where he was. He was behind us, obviously. So perhaps next time around,
be aware the car behind is catching you by 0.5 a lap. 0.5.
we may see him. Yeah, doesn't look like we're able to drop Pierre Gasly at this point. So looking at the camera shot, Sebastian Vettel, and we have a Alfa Romeo right behind him. Lap 63 of 70, we are now in 9th place.
Yellow flag.
So there we are, right on the right-hand side, just below the crane. We had a very quick look at the car of Esteban Ocon as it's parked to the side. And that is what caused the yellow flag. He is out of the race. And we can't forget, we are still racing with Pierre Gasly. It looks like we have lost a little bit of time, as he and Sebastian Vettel are a little bit closer now. And usually, when they call out the yellow flag, you kind of lift off the throttle a little bit just to see what's happening or where it's at. And I think that's what caught us, and now
Got a damaged wing.
coming right behind us. So I think there was an indicator there. We didn't get a look at the onboard, but we got a call from the car that there is a damaged wing. And that would be the left front end plate. You can see there that the very tip of it is gone. Really not one situation where it had occurred or one occurrence where we bumped into something. We did bump into the wall a couple of times coming in through turn 8, just trying to make the turn a little bit wider. And again, we don't have a lot of wing on this car. It is 3 in the front, 6 in the back, so we don't really have a lot of grip to handle those chicanes as they occur very fast. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to make the turn in a little bit wider. And a couple of times we had actually hit the barrier on the left. Not enough to break the wheel or break the wing all at once. And there is that wall. So we got to look at the barrier just on the right hand side. You can see it sticks out a little bit. And you get to look at the wing end plate there on the front left, and it is a little bit chewed up. We are getting a blue flag though. And looking back at the cars, we are racing with the 3 cars behind us, and it's Gasly, Vettel, and one of the Alfa Romeos. And it looks like another car behind him is the McLaren. And we are not racing with the McLaren. We have lapped the McLaren already. So we have a warning that somebody's coming through, likely one of the leaders or the leaders of the race. Now we're still actually clocking in very good lap times here, but after nearly 70 laps, it's very possible that the faster cars will make up so much time that they will be able to lap us. And that's what usually happens. We've had a few races where we were lapped. So looking at the cars coming by, it's still not clear who is coming through that we will have to pull over for. There, I think we just got a good look. It is one of the Ferraris, and he is now ahead of the McLaren. And when the blue light is flashing there in the light box, you're kind of trying to keep an eye in the mirror, checking who's behind you. You will want to let a faster car go by. However, you have to make sure that the car that you're racing with is not that car, and that car does not get through as well. And that was more evident in the racing at Monaco. We did have the leaders lap us about, I think, at least twice. And we were racing with Esteban Ocon at the time, and there were a couple times where he almost got through. Now we are approaching a back marker. I believe that is a McLaren, and that may be why the blue flag is out. But I know there is a Ferrari coming up behind us. He's not going to show up in the timing, obviously, because he is that much further ahead of... That's actually our teammate that we're lapping.
Blue flag.
So we're still getting the blue flag. That was not necessarily for us.
26.2 seconds.
There's our teammate on the left of the picture, and the Ferrari getting right by him. So this red car we're going to have to let pass. I'm going to wait for a good spot here. He gets a little squirmy on the exit out of 9. I think we'll let him through here in the hairpin, and there's enough room. There we are. And that's basically how to do it. There is another Ferrari coming up. I think he's 2 cars behind. And I can't quite make out who that is. That would be Carlos Sainz with Charles Leclerc as the Ferrari that just passed us. So Sainz is coming up. We are getting the blue flag. We are going to have to find a spot to let him through. There are no other cars that we're racing with that are close to him, so we can take our time. And we don't have to be real specific. There we are. Let him through. Turn 8. Turn 9. Cleanly through there. Whoop. Too much acceleration and we lost a little bit of grip. Thankfully, we were able to catch it. And as much as a lot of people complain about the force feedback in Formula One, you can actually tune it, certainly tune it so that you can feel when you've lost traction. You can normally catch those loss of traction parts through the race. And that would be the finish.
That's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
So it did pass us, so we don't have to go for 70 laps.
Not that bad. You got points. The Max is,
Ferrari have really pulled it out of the bag today. It's a great win. So Natalie, what do you think helped them deliver this result?
I think it was clear what the main contributing factor out of the track was: speed. It sounds like an awfully reductive statement, but fast cars win races. And we saw that today with our winner.
Here come our winners now, a thrilling race and a tremendous effort by Ferrari. Their history is well known, so it's no surprise to fans the world over to see them come out on top once again. So let's review the updated driver standings. Well, not the result our points leader would have wanted, but it certainly makes things interesting going forward. So then, Natalie Pinkham, who would you rank as your driver of the day?
Max Verstappen seemed to just effortlessly weave through the other drivers today without a care in the world. He was definitely my driver of choice.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. It was a tough race for our championship leaders who lose ground at the top of the table. Well, what an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
So with the finish in 9th place, there's our 2 points, and you can see the winner, Charles Leclerc, with 26 points, 1 being for the fastest lap of the race. So here's our results from the practice program. This shows us that we needed 99.61 kilograms of fuel to finish the race, and we had put in just 100. It also indicates that our tire wear with the medium tires is actually better than expected. And here's the strategy with the tires, and you can see that Charles Leclerc used 4 tires. He started off with the hard tire, and we ended up using an extra set of tires, probably to get the fastest lap since he was ahead of the race already. And you can see that most teams had gone with a 2-stop race, and you see some here with a 4-stop race. Here's the rest of the field. You can see that some have used 4 sets of tires, and some have used 3 sets of tires, mostly starting off with a soft tire for the race. We had Kevin Magnussen just use 2 tires, but again, he didn't finish. It's possible that he would have planned on a 3rd set of tires. So that's going to do us here for the Montreal Grand Prix, and thanks for watching the race at Driving Immersion. Again, let us know what you think of the race. Give us a like and consider subscribing for more simulation races ahead.